There's a reason that the New Testament was written in Greek rather than in Hebrew or Aramaic. That reason is Alexander the Great. Alexander is probably the most important of all ancient rulers. He conquered much of the known world, including the entirety of the ancient Near East in the late 4th century BC. He had been tutored by Aristotle and grew to become a military genius and political expert. By the time he was 30, his conquests had been so successful that he had become the ruler of the largest empire the world had ever seen. His empire extended from Greece eastward through Egypt, Babylonia, Persia, and Afghanistan into western India. In 323 BC, he suddenly fell ill and died while in Babylon at the age of 32. In his untimely death, he fell short of his goal of uniting the entire world under Greek rule. Alexander and his successors promoted Hellenism, which sought to promote Greek language, literature, customs, and ethics throughout the world. One of his strategies for this was to found Greek cities and cultural hubs all around the conquered world. This led to the Age of Hellenism, which lasted for about 500 years, continuing even after the Romans took control of the world. The final books of the Hebrew Bible, as well as all the books of the New Testament, were written during this time. Hellenism introduced new ways of thinking to the rest of the world, new art, literature, philosophy, religion, and the Hellenists saw themselves as citizens of the world rather than of a particular state. They were cosmopolitan. Many Jews also became Hellenized. The Jews living in Alexandria, Egypt, translated the Hebrew Bible into Koine Greek starting around 250 BC. This was necessary because more and more Jews were beginning to speak only in Greek. This translation was called the Septuagint and was used also by the early Christians, who also wrote the New Testament in Koine Greek. Greek philosophy likely started sometime in the 7th century BC in places such as Miletus, but Athens had become the intellectual hub of Greece by the 5th century BC. Socrates was a philosopher who lived from around 469 through 399 BC. He focused on ethics, especially what it means for humans to live a good life. He saw life as a journey towards truth with the goal of becoming an eternal spirit in the unseen realm. He would engage in public debate and won over many followers, but he also attracted a number of enemies who questioned his morality. He was eventually tried and executed for introducing new gods and corrupting the youth. Plato lived from around 427 to 347 BC and had been a disciple of Socrates. He wrote a record of Socrates' debates that made his teacher out to be a hero and a genius. Almost everything Plato wrote was about Socrates, so it's hard to know which words truly belong to Socrates and which ones belong to Plato. Plato argued that acts in this life lead to rewards and punishments in the next life. He also held a dualistic understanding of the universe that separated the physical and the spiritual realms, physical being imperfect and mortal, and spiritual being perfect and eternal. When our bodies die, our souls return to the spirit realm for judgment. Platonism has had a profound influence on Western civilization even to this day. Stoicism became very popular among the educated classes after the Romans took over. It was founded in Athens by Zeno, who lived from around 336 to 263 BC. It focused on order and the moral purpose of the cosmos. It argued that reason, or logos, is the divine principle that gives meaning to everything. The word logos is the term for a word and can be understood as cosmic wisdom. The logos is the universal mind that allows humans to understand the cosmos. Human souls are sparks from the logos, the great fire. Stoics taught self-control and discipline by listening to the divine spark within themselves in order to achieve harmony with the cosmos. They sought to purge themselves of all emotions and to become self-sufficient beings. Epicurus basically took the opposite approach of the Stoics. He lived around 342 to 270 BC, and he taught that everything was physical, including the soul, which ceases to exist when the body dies. He believed that if the gods were real, they did not interact with humans and left them to fend for themselves. One of the main goals in this philosophy is the avoidance of pain, but also the avoidance of sensual pleasures that dull the senses. Every person is called to tend to their own garden and to use reason to discover the ultimate truth. The mind matters more than the body.